Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my last review of Fast and Furious. And today I am reviewing Fast X starring Vin Diesel, Jason Statham, Brie Larson, Jason Momoa, John Cena and Alan Richardson. Over many missions and against impossible odds, Dom Toretto and his family have outsmarted and outdriven every foe in their path. Now they must confront the most lethal obstacle they've ever faced. Fueled by revenge, a terrifying threat emerges from the shadows of the past to shatter Dom's world and destroy everything and everyone he loves. Now, as you guys know, I reacted to the Fast X trailer when it came out. When they were coming out, and I was excited because this movie is almost felt like, even just by the trailer, a direct sequel to Fast 5, because we got to see the whole thing of why Dante, Jason Momoa's character, is after Dom, and obviously we learned that he's the son of the guy who owned the bank in Fast 5 that they stole from him. So I was really excited to watch this, and also I got excited because we got, even though it was previous footage, I loved seeing Paul Walker, Brian, in the trailer, so I was curious if they were going to include him in this, or they were going to save him for part 2, because Fast X part 2 comes out next year. So yeah, so I really wanted to see this. And one of the things I liked about this movie is how it directly ties in to Fast 5, and how they show, like I said, the opening scene. The opening scene is literally from Fast 5, and how Jason Momoa's Dante is connected to Fast 5 directly. And speaking of Jason Momoa in this movie, I don't know if he was just hyped up on Red Bull or Monster drinks or whatever the heck, but he gives one of the greatest and funniest villain performances. It's like he's almost like the Fast and Furious version of Joker. That's how crazy his performance is in this movie. And it actually really makes the movie even better than it is. And a thing that I was like, what in the world? And Dom is teaching his kid to drive, even though the kid is too young to be driving at this age. Like, this kid is like 6 or 7 years old, and he doesn't have a driver's license yet. Like, come on, that's just silly. And like, it made no sense to me. I was just like, what in the world are you trying to do with this? Something that I didn't talk about in my F9 review, but since when did Lainey drive a motorbike? Like, I get that you kind of want her to be different than everyone else, where everyone else is in cars and she's on a bike, but it's like, since when did she know how to ride a bike? Like, come on. And then, like, suddenly in Fast 9, she just, what I'm going to say is motorbike expert. Like, she was a car expert in the first few movies, and then F9 she went to motorbikes. Like, that is just like, what in the world? I will say, I like how the scene where Dom is looking in the shed and and he ends up talking to his mum. I do like how they play the instrumental version of See You Again from Furious 7, and we actually do see the photos and stuff of Brian from the first 1 to 7. Like, that was such a cool little montagey thing in this movie. Like, that was so cool seeing that. And and how they use their flashbacks to the previous movies instead of just using new shots as flashbacks like Fast 9 did. They instead use other movies as flashbacks and backstories, which was so clever. And also, another thing is too, when we get introduced to Brie Larson and Al Richardson's characters, we learn that they're people that Mr. Nobody, like they're Mr. Nobody's company. And we actually learn that throughout this movie, and how, like, where this movie takes place and stuff. And we also get, I love how we get reintroduced to Jacob, aka John Cena, in this movie. I love the scene where, like, Lil Brian and Mia are just hanging out playing some games, and then the Toretto household gets under attacked, and then like, Jacob comes in like a badass, just going through and like beating all these dudes up. And I love that action scene. I thought that action scene was so cool. I was like, oh my god, this is where, like, it just got so fun. Not that the rest of the movie wasn't fun, but that bit was definitely like, oh my god. Like, I love John Cena, and I love the things that he does. Like, I love a lot of the movies that he's been a part of, and it's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm so happy that he's part of the Fast and Furious franchise now. That whole bit in this movie, the, like, Batman Forever or Spider-Man 2002 scene of choose one person to save. Not only that, but also doing it when they are racing is such a bloody dick move. And it just proves to you that Jason Momoa's Dante is such a cool villain for this franchise. Like, I think that this is just one of the best characters he's ever played. Like, I love Jason Momoa's Aquaman. I found him entertaining in Minecraft, but, like, this is easily one of the best performances he's ever given in a movie, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in Fast X Part 2 next year, and continuing on with that storyline. And you can see why people are calling this movie the Avengers Infinity War of Fast and Furious movies. Because it being a 3-part series to wrap up the whole Fast and Furious series is actually so interesting to me. And, like, because, like, you get the flashbacks to the previous movies, and by the characters coming together, whether it's Jacob from Fast 9 or Chipper from Fate of the Furious and F9 and Shaw from Furious 7 and Fate of the Furious, you can also feel them want to do a Avengers Infinity War kind of movie for Fast and Furious, and I feel like that we're going to get to that point where, like, whether if it's in Fast X Part 2 or it's going to be in Fast X Part 3, if they do a Part 3, I will not be surprised if like, they won't go as science fiction-y as Avengers Endgame, but if they go, like, basically the reaction that we got out of the portal scene in Avengers Endgame is what we will get if Paul Walker's brother comes back to reprise Paul Walker's character in Brian. Like, that would just be so cool to see. I would love to see that, and I think that would be such a cool payoff in that movie. And whether if they do that or not, I'm curious. But yeah, no, I am very excited to see what they do in Fast X Part 2 next year. So I'm going to give Fast X 4 out of 5 stars. As a whole, as the whole franchise went, I actually really liked it. I went in there with low expectations, but then I was actually like, but then as I kept watching the movies, like, some of the movies I found entertaining, but I kind of, there's something about there's somewhere around, like, one of the, like, the third act or something that it will kind of where I would just kind of not get bored, but kind of check out and like come back to. But like, I think that the thing is about this franchise is that you need to be expecting not good movies. Like, the only good movies you'll have is like everything from like, I want to say, the first few, like from Fast and Furious 1, not Too Fast, Too Furious, but from Tokyo Drift to Furious 7 is where you get good, but that's where it starts to get silly, but not too silly. And then from Fate of the Furious to Fast X is where it starts to get super silly, and if you don't like the super silliness, you're not gonna like the later movies. But because I really like silly movies, like, not necessarily silly in the way that's like, oh my god, this is out of place, but the fact that I don't mind when movies get silly, as long as it's not a character that I or a franchise I absolutely love, like a DC. Like if they made Batman silly, I would be furious. But I think that Fast and Furious is just one of those franchises that you just need to kind of understand that you're gonna get a silly, fun, entertaining movie, and not necessarily a good, gripping, like Oscar-winning type of movie. So guys, thank you for watching my series of Fast and Furious reviews. I will be doing a bunch of Fast and Furious rankings. So guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribe to the little bell icon to get notified of future videos that I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Subscribe to my channel and also press this bell icon.
Everything rides on tonight. Bitch on your stony, I do it out. Candy paint with the white on top. Lambo doors or the wood.